The air in Jerusalem was filled with life. Merchants filled the streets, priests walked proudly in their garments, and travelers from distant lands marveled at the grandeur of the temple. Its white marble stones towered like a mountain, and its golden doors shimmered in the sunlight. The disciples followed Jesus, their eyes wide with awe. James pointed to the walls and whispered to the others, "Look at these stones. Surely nothing in the world could ever destroy this." But Jesus, the eternal King, clothed in human flesh, stopped and gazed at the temple with a look that pierced deeper than the glitter of stone and gold. His voice was calm, but it carried the weight of heaven. "Do you see all these things? Truly I tell you, not one stone here will be left on another. Everyone will be thrown down." The words struck the disciples like thunder. They could hardly comprehend it. How could the house of God, the pride of Israel, crumble into dust? Later that evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the first stars pierced the sky, they followed him to the Mount of Olives. From there, the temple still glowed in the fading light, majestic against the night. But his words haunted them. They sat around him, the firelight flickering across their faces. Finally, Peter leaned forward, his voice trembling. "Master, when will this happen? And what will be the sign of your coming and of the end of the world?" The night grew quiet. Even the wind seemed to hush, as if creation itself leaned in to listen. Jesus lifted his eyes, seeing beyond time, his voice echoing across centuries yet to come. "Take heed that no one deceives you, for many will come in my name, saying, 'I am the Christ,' and they will deceive many." The disciples exchanged uneasy glances. "You will hear of wars and rumors of wars," he continued. "See that you are not troubled, for these things must take place, but the end is not yet. Nation will rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom. There will be famines, pestilences, and earthquakes in many places. All these are the beginnings of sorrows." A cold wind blew across the hill, carrying the weight of his words. "Then they will deliver you up to be afflicted, and they will kill you. You will be hated by all nations for my name's sake. Many will stumble, and will betray and hate one another. False prophets will arise and deceive many, and because lawlessness will increase, the love of many will grow cold." His eyes, full of compassion, fell on his followers, but he who endures to the end will be saved. The disciples sat frozen, caught between fear and hope. "And this gospel of the kingdom will be preached in the whole world as a testimony to all nations, and then the end will come." Jesus' voice grew firm, filled with urgency. "When you see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet standing in the holy place, then let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains. Let no one on the housetop go down to take anything out of the house. Let no one in the field go back for their cloak. For there will be great tribulation, unequaled from the beginning of the world until now, and never to be equaled again." The fire crackled, but no one moved. "If those days had not been shortened," he said solemnly, "no flesh would survive. But for the sake of the elect, those days will be shortened." He lifted his hand toward the night sky. Immediately after the tribulation of those days, the sun will be darkened. The moon will not give its light. The stars will fall from heaven. The powers of the heavens will be shaken. The disciples' eyes turned upward as though expecting to see the heavens rip open. Then his voice thundered with glory. "And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. All the tribes of the earth will mourn, and they will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. He will send his angels with a loud trumpet call, and they will gather his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other." A great silence fell on the mount. Even the olive trees seemed still. The disciples' faces glowed with firelight and fear. The majesty of his words made their hearts tremble. But Jesus leaned closer, his voice now gentle. "Learn this lesson from the fig tree. When its branch becomes tender and puts out leaves, you know that summer is near. So also, when you see all these things, know that it is near, right at the door." His eyes pierced theirs. "Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will never pass away." They sat in awe, as if eternity itself had just unfolded before them. Then he gave his final warning, one that echoes to this day. "As it was in the days of Noah, so it will be at the coming of the Son of Man. They were eating, drinking, marrying, and giving in marriage, until the flood came and swept them all away. so it will be at my coming." He stood, his shadow stretching across the hill. "Therefore watch and be ready, for in such an hour as you do not expect, the Son of Man will come." The fire burned low. The disciples sat in silence, their hearts pounding, knowing they had just been given the greatest prophecy the world would ever hear. And his words, spoken that night on the Mount of Olives, still thunder across the ages. "Watch, pray, endure, for I am coming soon."